It should do for rather a surge. The 10,000-ton housing of the UK's new Arctic vessel will be put in the inland Mersey after, about 12:20 BST. Mentioned following the TV natural scientist Sir David Attenborough, the ship has been collected at the Camel Landlord Courtyard in Birkenhead and located on its slip. The announcer oneself will be requested to unleash his steel homonym, enterprising the key house and the housing slide downward wood railway track that include been caked in heavy lubricate. The housing will go in harsh first and should build a big wavelength as it bites the water supply fair as the Mersey reaches top tidal. Camel Landlord has had the channel dredged in front line of its slip to do certainly the steel massive does not lower of. Saturday is an essential landmark for the vessel, whose growth has been accompanied close with and on the internet campaigning tested to get it mentioned, Boaty McBoatface. Ministers intervene to urge on a more than relevant behalf, but how has not dampened the concern in which is the greatest business vessel to be constructed in Britain in many decades. She's love a gigantic airfix pattern, told Camel Landlord Draft Officer John Drummond. She's creature put along in 1/1,000th trimming of steel, 30 km of pipe, 5,000 pipe fitting, and 450 km of cable laying. The steel structure departure in the water supply represents the reduced decks of the Attenborough and the parts whose large amount intended they had to be encapsulated for the construct. The turned on the ship's enormous diesel engine electric Rolls-Royce engines. Tugs will be on brush to capture the housing as it floats out in the Mersey. They will later go the pattern to the business's damp pelvis. It is there how the top decks will be assigned, along will all the domestic fixtures and fixture, such as cabins and laboratories. At the time we include fair the 6 decks in the housing, and the some 6 decks of which we urge the excellent structure will be raised on following she's lost in our harbour, explainable Claire Bigger, aide vessel officer at Camel Landlord. I'm so agitated at the perspective of vision her slideshow in the Mersey in the Liverpool background. It should be an wonderful date. An formal transmission of the completed vessel is planned for the end of the year. It is at the spot how the RR's Sir David Attenborough can start sea testing, and go on its damsel expeditions to the Arctic and the Antarctic. The 2 sea vessels how do up the UK's current Arctic Navy, the RR's James Clark Ross, JCR, and the RR's Ernest Shackleton, are aging, in almost 50-year facility now among them. These are as well receive costly to work. The pound 200-meter, country of the art Attenborough will be their replace. It will include the ability to perform all the roles now taken by the JCR and the Shackleton, that widely break in study and logistic. The new vessel will supporting scientists' work at both of ends of the earth. At times, the will involve supplying the supplies how suffer UK bases, such as Rothera and Hawley in Antarctica. On some occasions, it will indicate operating as the plate of that scientists can start investigations of the Arctic environmental. Since of wherever the vessel it will include to job, the housing has been intended to break down via meter-thick ocean ice. The Attenborough will be furnished in all the newest research pinion. It will include a heliport, cranes and airborne labs, and include the capacity to expand subs and some sea examination and sample package. One of its key features is enclosed Luna swimming pool. The is substantially a enormous opening fleeing order via the medium of the housing. It will enable tool to be reduced in, and restored of, the sea while weather or tight ocean ice facility would usually do such a job really hard. The vessel style, put along by Rolls-Royce, as well enables close silent fleeing while require, important scientists can research sea creatures out of harassing them. Boaty McBoatface lives on in the shape of a amber sub. The Domestic Oceanology Centre in Southampton has 3 length-range independent submarine vehicles. While one of these is out on patrolling, it carries the funny nickname. The intent is how these Boaty-class subs will often work of the Attenborough. They will be requested to go in places the vessel himself cannot achieve. A nice sample would be the huge ice shelves how encircle Antarctica. These are float slabs how are hundreds of meters heavy, and the just way to investigate their undersides is to use an independent car.